What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a late night. It's been a long time since I've had one of these, and unfortunately, I was not able to get our usual guest. So we found someone better, two people better, someone we've never had on the channel before, but somebody I consider a friend. Phil from Project Egg Roll, my brother. How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, X-Wing? I'm doing well, dude. How are you?
Good. I'm just happy to finally have you on the channel. I've been wearing your merch on my channel for God knows how long, and we've never had you here. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And
What's
then
that called again? Yeah, sorry. Greg wasn't able to join us because he's like in Philippines. So, but
I was
yes.
gonna give a whole big shout out about how he was the smarter, more handsome, more well spoken half of the channel, and we couldn't get him on because he's so popular. But yeah, that's fine. And then, as always, our good friend, someone near and dear to my heart. He's ugly, but we love him. Drum 3PO. What's up, man?
Thank you for letting me know I'm replacing Nikki, and Rissman.
Oh, you should have seen the messages I got. They were like, "You used to say the same thumbnail." They think I hate them. But
it's all good.
What are you gonna do?
I don't even know what I'm doing here, but thanks for having me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what we're doing tonight. This is going to be kind of an open forum. We're going to have a good time.
Weren't you just live like 10 minutes ago?
It was a little longer than that, but yeah, pretty close. I ended my stream prematurely. I suffer from premature stream ending.
Premature Star Wars elaboration.
Anyway, we're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about tonight. We want to get the chat involved. I see everybody here. It is so good to see you guys. I see some people that weren't able to make it to the earlier stream that are hanging out. And then, of course, Gray himself is here saying what's up from the Philippines. I may not be there, but I'm here in spirit. Gray, it's good to see you, brother. He actually flew all the way up from the Philippines
just to see me out. I know, it was crazy.
I think it was me.
Honored.
I think he said me, but
you know,
yeah, that's fine.
We got our first member chat. Makes me mad. Like I can't stand people that are in good shape.
Well, you have to realize that the Philippines are a little different. You know, if you were in the Philippines, I don't know if you'd be able to survive. The caloric intake is just it's a whole different thing.
Just lechon and balut all day.
I can't do balutes. Oh, the thought of it just makes me sick. Let me get this out of the way. The Lost Tale member for 5 months. I don't know what that is, bro. Does that mean you're happy to see me?
Yes.
I gotta turn this music down. That's way too much. Lost Tale's good to see you here. And then we already have a super chat.
Ivan, what's up, buddy?
My brother. Have a great stream, bro. I just started work. Oh, and Dave Filoni sucks. We can talk about Dave Filoni tonight. Now,
hey, Phil, have you ever been to China before?
No.
What the hell was that segue?
Because you were talking about the food in the Philippines. I was just saying, like, if you've ever been to, I don't know if they have this in the Philippines, but in China, in the McDonald's in China, they sell like this taro pie. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, taro root.
Yeah, instead of an apple pie, they have the taro pie.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've been to McDonald's all over the world. All over the world. I've only seen that in China.
Man, taro root is like the rest of the world's corn. Like, everybody uses taro root. That is just such a basic sustenance is taro.
I was there with my translator, and they was just like, I was like, I gotta go to McDonald's, and I can't have any more rice. And so they're like, they took me to McDonald's, and they saw that I didn't speak Chinese. So what they do is they hold up a giant. They saw
that you didn't speak Chinese because if you were walking up to me, I'm like, that guy's fluent in Mandarin for sure.
Yeah, and so I held up this giant, this like color book, and they're like, just point at what you want. It's not like here in America, they only have like 6 things. It's not like we're, so, and the guy was like, you got to get a taro pie, and I was like, really? They're like, trust me. So I had one. I was like, I went back and bought like 6 more.
That was the first thing I did when I got off the plane in France. Was I was like, I'm such an American. I'm like, I have to go to a French McDonald's, and right there on the front of the menu was a McBaguette, and I'm like, yes, it's 2 patties on a baguette with like a nice horseradish sauce. It was actually killer. I'm not gonna lie.
There's
Ivan, really
sorry.
quick, Ivan, I'm gonna be down in your neck of the woods in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So let's get in contact because I'm gonna be in Pomona, which is apparently right next to LA. I don't know, but send me a message. All right, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. But
He's
but to your
disrespecting the
question, Jay,
guest, Phil. Just don't take it.
Why do I invite him here?
But back to your question, Jay. I've never actually been to China. I had an opportunity to go, but I had a crazy ex, so that but that was a different another story for another time. But I was never able to go. But I did go to a McDonald's, and this is the closest China I'll ever get to. Was in Hawaii.
Ooh.
And the Hawaiian McDonald's actually has Portuguese sausage and rice and egg for their breakfast, which is crazy. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
I gotta try that.
That sounds better than American McDonald's breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. I can't eat it, dude. Some people love it. My wife loves American McDonald's breakfast. I can't do it, man.
Knights of Melvin in the chat here for the J So itching for the Star Cruiser update. Well, you, my friend, might have a video tomorrow because what Bob Iger had to say about the Star Cruiser is laughable.
So, Phil, this is why you can't have Jay on your channel, because basically what happens is he just runs Jay's stream for like 3 hours. It's actually kind of nice because it's light work. You know what I mean? You're like, I can just relax.
We had Jay on a while back, and yeah, it's
what's up, Melvin?
It's the most views we've got.
Yeah, X-Wing.
Hey, look, I'm not saying I've gotten any subscribers from him.
And I'm waiting for my invite back because I'm ready to go back and stay a little bit longer. I could only have stayed for like I think I was only able to stay an hour and a half, but next time I go on, I can stay the whole time.
Jay likes to stream for like 4 hours. I don't know how he does it. He's got to have a colostomy bag or something going on.
I do. I poop on the floor.
He's drilled a hole in the. That's hilarious. Yeah, but it's kind of cool. I kind of happily fell into your channel because of Jay, and you guys been growing like a Nevada tumbleweed, man. It's been awesome to watch, and you have way too much fun on stream. By the way, everybody who's in the chat right now, please go down in the description and subscribe to Project Eggroll. These are good friends of the channel. We like to grow a community. We want everybody watching everybody's stuff, everybody hanging out in everybody's chat. So get down there, subscribe. Hang out with Phil and Gray.
Thank you so much, X-Wing. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell us about your little your journey into YouTube.
Well, okay. So originally, me and my wife, we wanted to do a react, maybe movie review kind of thing, and then it never really popped off until one day she was like, "Oh, can I just react to like anime stuff? I just want to watch anime stuff and react to it. Is that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." And then she started reacting to this show called The Promised Neverland, which is it's actually pretty interesting. The season one's really good, and season two sort of went off the rails and got pretty crazy. But she was doing really well, and all of a sudden, like we went from maybe a couple hundred of subscribers, and then she got up to like 4,000 within a couple months, and then she started reacting to a bunch of Demon Slayer stuff. She stopped doing it for about like 3 years now, ever since COVID. I think that's when we stopped. And we went to go look at the demographics, like who's watching your stuff. So it was a bunch of 50 to 60-year-old Japanese men.
It's the same as Jay's channel. That's crazy.
Right up my alley, man.
No wonder you guys get along so well.
That's probably why you were recommended to me when I found you those many moons ago.
Yeah. But then how I got started was I was playing back when I used to stream on Twitch. I was playing Fire Emblem's Three Houses, and one day I just stopped doing it and I just wanted to talk, and it was about like I was chatting for about 3 to 4 hours, just no games and just in just chatting mode. And one of my mods was mentioning to me, he's like, "Hey, why don't you start some kind of like podcast or live stream?" And then Greg was in the chat during that time, since that's how he found me. And he was like, "I'll join you. That'd be great." And then that was it.
That's how it all
we just started it, and it'll be by the end of the month, it'll be a year since we started together.
That's killer, man. You guys are at 2,000. How many?
Yeah, I think last time I saw was like 2030.
That's awesome, dude.
Hmm.
That is incredible. Walk me through how you came up with the name Project Egg Roll. I have my assumptions, but let us know.
So, since we're both Asian, I wanted to make some, I wanted to play up on the Asianness. So
Gray's Asian?
I had no idea.
This is news to me, bro.
Can you let him
Well,
talk? You're racist. Come on.
According to what I
Hey.
heard, they just Spaniards conquered the Philippines, and all of a sudden there's like, we just put you guys part of Asian. You guys are a part of the Asian community now. That's what I heard. I'm not sure. But yeah, I was like, what can I play off of that we both have? Like I'm Chinese and he's Filipino. Like we both have, we both have egg rolls, right? Of course, it's keeping it PG. So no, they have.
I love it.
So he has lumpia, and we have our Chinese egg rolls. And then I was like, oh, it'd be cool if called like episode, or like formula, or a project egg roll or something like that. And then I was like, I think that could work. But instead of originally I wanted to draw like an actual egg roll or spring roll, but it's hard to draw and make it look good. So
fried food looks terrible in cartoon form. It always does.
Yeah. So and then I'm just gonna go with an egg. I think that'll be good. Just living.
And here we are.
I love it. You know how I found that? You know how I found their channel? It was in the middle of the night, and sometimes like when I'm just kind of like, I like listening to like when I'm cleaning or something. I like to have live streams on and listen to people's discussion about certain topics. And what I do, so you kids at home can try it. Also, thank you, King's Advisor, for the 10 gifted memberships to the channel. You're a real one.
This dude never gives me a minute to get through these.
I go on YouTube and I type in words like Star Wars, and then I go to the filter and just click live and see if there's people talking Star Wars, or I click or I type in Marvel or MCU, then I go to filter and click live and see what comes up. And I think it was Marvel, and all of a sudden I saw this Project Egg Roll. I was like, what the heck? And I clicked on it, and you were talking about things with Marvel, and in that you mentioned Nerdrotic. I think you mentioned Gary. You mentioned Nerdrotic, and I was like, oh, these people know who we are. Well, knows who Gary is anyway. And then I said, hey, in the chat, and you were like, oh my God, it's Drunk 3PO's in our chat. I can't believe it. And so I was like, all right, they know who we are. So, and I was just like, no, keep it up. I'm listening. This is pretty cool. So it was awesome, And then I started telling my friends about it. I was like, you got to check out this podcast. It's freaking awesome. So that's how we all got started.
Yeah. And I want to thank Jay again. Like if it wasn't for his
no,
I have to. Like if it wasn't for your kindred spirit and just you being such an amazing person, like we wouldn't have gotten known. And like I remember I popped by your live stream on Saturday to give you a shout out and thank you. And then you just pulled up our stream and our channel. I was like, go subscribe to them, give them love, but make sure they earn your subscription. And I'm just like, you didn't have to do any of that. And it was just it means a lot to us.
No, man, you guys,
you're making his head too big.
I hope you guys soar to like the highest, at least get more subs in X-Wing. Then you're really heading somewhere.
See, he did the same thing for me. He boosted me up, but we've known each other long enough now. I can't compliment anymore. I have to try to bring him back down because he's such a big deal. He shows up at all these events and like blue Lamborghinis, and he's like, oh, by the way, I'm arm wrestling Gina Carano, getting headlocked by, it's disgusting. It's hard to see my friend go down that road. I still love him. We just hope we can keep him humble. We hope we can keep him humble.
His book did so well. It's just like
He started wearing ascots in Florida. Like who does that? You know what I mean? It's tough. Anyways, all right, we got to hit a couple of these super chats real quick. I wanted to hit a member chat real quick from Ted's Nerd World. It's so good to see you again, bro. Member for 20 months. Thank you so much. Dear friend of the channel, good friend over at Echo Base, says, Hail X-Wing and both great guests tonight. Good to see you, brother. Gatekeepers Daimyo for $4.99 says, "What's up, fellas? You got a fellow Filipino here." So big fan of the lumpia. All he talks about is lumpia. Actually, you should see some of the memes for this guy. We got him on that naked picture of Lizzo.
I don't want to see that
when she's holding it. And you know what the worst part is? It fits almost perfectly. It's a horrible, horrible
he's
image.
really fat? What a
no, he's cut up, man. Good looking fella, but for some reason fits on
Nice
Lizzo's
save.
body. I don't know why. Lost Tales for 5 says, "Nice merch, X-Wing. Nice merch, Jay. Say, where'd you get that stuff anyway?" I don't know. I bought it in May. Might go move some hay. What do you say?
9 Line Apparel. Head over to
What was the movie?
9lineapparel.com. Go into the search and just type in Rebellion, and all my stuff will come up. If you use the code Drunk3PO20, you'll save 20%. Probably will save as much as you'll spend
See
on
what
shipping.
happens when you as soon as you crest 50
and if you
subs,
buy
this is
something
what
really cool,
happens.
like the hat X-Wing has on, or my hat, a portion of the proceeds goes to help our amazing veterans here in the country. So
Yeah, I couldn't
feel
help but
good about
notice
your purchase.
I was supporting everybody else today. Where's my hat?
It's in my car. I wear it to the theme parks a lot. You see it in park hopping.
So you wear it to sweat. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You wear it just to sweat all over. It's disgusting behavior.
You know, I
Gatekeepers
ordered
Diamond-
your hat. Okay, listen. I ordered your hat because I want to support my friend. That thing took like 6 months to get here.
I have to
okay?
hand stitch them myself. Okay.
You know, tell Mrs. X-Wing to speed it up, okay? I ain't got all day.
I don't care if you're pregnant.
I'm gonna wear it next month.
That's right. Get it together, man.
Another $4.99 from Gatekeepers Daimyo said, "Lumpia are not egg rolls." Hard stance. Would you agree or disagree?
They're in the same shape. They're deep
Okay,
fried.
that settles it. Eloquent as always.
I love it.
Raging Rhino's in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you here. Okay, I've got a bombshell topic. Look, we can go into this or we can't go into this, but I was thinking about this today. I'm scrolling around TikTok and I see this one TikTok video. Okay, I know you're laughing at me. I watched this one TikTok video and it's like all the symbolism and all of these things that are influencing pop culture, they feel kind of satanic. I'm not gonna lie. And then they gave a bunch of different examples of different things that we see in pop culture that feel kind of satanic. And I was like, dude.
What does that have to do with Star Wars?
It's there. This isn't a Star Wars
Wars
stream. This is late night.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Too scared to go into it? We can move to Ahsoka if you want to talk about Ahsoka, but I
don't
really
know what
don't
you're
want to talk
talking
about
about.
Ahsoka.
I haven't seen it. I haven't I do think there's like
You never seen Sam Smith dancing around with his
I choose not to
hadungle
watch
out?
that stuff.
Oh, that one.
I choose not to watch that. Well,
Little Nas X
all right,
rolling
so
around with
here's what I
pentagrams
think.
and stuff like this.
I think here's what I think about that stuff. I believe that bro's obsessed with TikTok. I believe a lot of these entertainers need a shock value to stay relevant in the field that they're in. So they will push the limits of demonic looking, crazy looking, whatever it is. Like, and they've been doing that since like the hard rock in the 80s, you know, where it's like heavy metals with the pentagrams and all that stuff, and Ozzy Osbourne ripping the head of a bat off or something like that. So all that stuff, like there's a certain group of, you know, genre that just has to shock you in the face so they could stay relevant. The problem is these people are so addicted to attention that they have to get it any way possible, whether it's negative or positive or whatever. They just need to be talked about. Love you, love me, hate me, but please keep talking about me. It's like it seems to be their motto. But yeah, some of that stuff is just downright disturbing on how far they try to push the
So do you really think it's like there's nothing nefarious, or is this just an attention grab?
I could be a combination of both. I'm just telling you, like these people and their egos are just inflated. Sam Smith is like, you know, like I think like his hit song, he sung with a transgender, I believe, and then he just wears like elaborate outfits. You know, he came as that. You see that outfit he wore that one
Yeah, it
time where
looks
it
like
looked like
Jay
a
in a
trash
Speedo.
bag?
It's gross.
Yeah, and so it's like all that. Like, why would you wear that? All that is for either you're really mentally, you know, something's going on there, or it's like you're just trying to get as much attention as you can get. I think a lot of it, you know, people say they talk about they sell their souls just to live a life of to be in the spotlight. So
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
hard for me to personally judge a specific person without knowing them, but I've being around entertainers and seeing that if they don't get their way or get the spotlight on them, how the temper tantrums that they throw, you know, it's pretty.
Are we talking about a particular mustached individual?
No, just like the ones, just ones that I've seen.
Wears a nice shiny suit.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Cool.
Phil, what do you think, man?
I would say it could be, I don't know, like I can like lean into some like conspiracy theory stuff, you know, like the Bohemian Grove stuff that like Rogan talked about. You know, how people would put themselves into these situations to like blackmail folks that are inside, you know, you know, if you're in, you know, part of the members only club. And with the whole thing with Sam Smith, you know, like what happened, you know, like he used to be so well, like I knew he was gay when he first heard a couple of his songs, but then it sort of became like so wild how like things just like it's all satanic now. And most recently, like wasn't there like a Grammy or a music video or some kind of award thing that he was nominated for? It's like that's like not that he's not even considered like a male anymore. Like I don't even know what's going on in Hollywood and like the music industry, but I would say, yeah, some people probably like sold their souls just to like get to where they are, or did, you know, like maybe just want the attention, all eyes on them.
Yeah.
It's crazy with I think there are some people that I know. So if you don't know, I used to be a scare actor at Universal Studios in
Oh,
Hollywood.
really?
Yeah. And it was part of the House of Horrors. They used to be there like year round. And when I auditioned for The Mummy, there are some people who are like so out there that they want like all eyes on them, and if they're not getting the attention, they'll just scream louder so people could be looking at them. Sort of that one scene from like South Park where those bikers were like, because we're so cool. So that's why they're looking at us. So it's there.
Yeah.
I do know a bunch of people who are like that as well.
Yeah, so the only thing that I feel like doesn't make sense, right, is that there is that attack, like that wild behavior for attention, right? So like one example would be Lady Gaga wearing a meat suit out to go to a show, right? But the difference with this stuff is that there's actual like symbolism. There's a whole bunch of symbolism with it. So I don't know if it's just like the new wave thing where maybe because of like political tendencies or the way that the country's being divided a little bit, that they think maybe they're going to anger people on one side compared to the other. It just seems hard to digest. I don't know. I really don't know what to think. I don't know. It's tough because I remember I think it was in the 50s or the 60s, they were pushing so hard in Hollywood that like if you had any democratic tendencies, they would blacklist you from Hollywood. And there was no social media to go out and talk about like I was booted for my beliefs, yada yada yada. But now in this day and age, everything kind of gets brought to the forefront. So you have to wonder, has anything changed, or is it just history repeating itself in the pendulum on the other side now? I don't know.
Well, like now, I think things have always been the same, in my opinion. Maybe it could be worse now, but I think now that you're constantly online, like you have your phone with you, people are recording. It's just people have always been crazy, or people have always been racist or whatever, but it's just people aren't seeing it until more recently because of social media.
Yeah. Jay?
I think is very disturbing, and it should be addressed. And parents of these kids should know what their kids are watching, especially if they're going to these concerts and stuff like that. And of course, there will always be, again, like I said, like back in the like heavy metal, there was always satanic symboling and stuff like that to try to push the envelope of rebelling against, authority, rebelling, like the music video "We're Not Gonna Take It" was just like, it was all about kids rebelling against their parents. It's just like, it's like one of those things. And we get to this point in time where it's just the envelopes get pushed even harder, because if we can convince the young people that we are the right way and this is how you should live, then they'll constantly pay attention to what you have to say. They'll vote the way you want to vote. They'll consume what you want to consume. And whoever they say is the bad guy, that's the bad guy in their mind. So it's all part of the programming, in my opinion. If you want that's just me. People can disagree with it, and that's totally fine. But it's just there's a reason why like Hollywood celebrities are heavy. Not all of them, but a lot of them are heavy progressive left, and they push this weird stuff that you look at. What they say, like Mark Ruffalo. You look at what they say, and it's just like, did you even read like what you posted or what the things you're saying? Like, and Ron Perlman, like they come out with these outrageous statements that people laugh at, and it's just like, well,
good for you. Yeah, good for you. There's definitely an ivory
but they have a following, It's like, how many of these celebrities? But to me, a lot of it was really big when a lot of these celebrities are like, I'm off this app. Screw Elon Musk. I'm finished with Twitter. Find me on Threads, right? It didn't take them long to find their way back to Twitter, where they got more engagement, more attention for saying outrageously stupid stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what they're addicted to it. We have seen people on a smaller scale, and this even happened to me personally. I shared it on a Geeks and Gamers stream, where an artist from Marvel, when I launched my book, they called it trash, and they said that the art and you're not going to compete with the big boys, and then they blocked me, right? Before I could even and I remember talking to Eric July about this, and he was just like, you got two things, Jay. You could either go after them all day, or you could just focus on. I was like, I wanted to focus on my book. It was my first one. I'm not really into I've never been in the comic business before. I'm not. So I'm like this new guy with a book. I want to make sure it's done correct. So I didn't have time to fight with people online. Well, this dude waited till I got to $100,000 on the campaign, unblocked me to trash me again. They are addicted. These people are addicted to this type of attention. Who goes out of their way to block someone, unblocks them to see their progress, then blocks them again, unblocks them again to see their progress, to see if because they're hoping that it would be a failure, so they can come back and be like, I was right, you're a failure. Then to see like you actually successful, to criticize the people buying your stuff, then blocks you again. What kind of this is the kind of people that we're dealing with. Like, these people have they're crazy. I don't get it. It's like they're crazy. You could criticize my
trolls.
Work.
They're actual trolls. I can't tell you how many times I've been
called,
you've been called. Probably Egg Roll too has been called a troll.
This person works for Marvel. He's one of their artists.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he blocked Eric July. Eric July did this whole thing. He blocked Eric July, unblocked him, finally saw something that he didn't like, and went on this whole tirade about how Eric July is a scammer. And Eric's like, you blocked me a few months ago. You are addicted to what I'm doing. Like, you're addicted to this stuff. And it's like, it just shows what kind of a sick person you are. So it's wild, man.
I think Mama didn't love him quite enough growing up. There's something in a childhood there. One of my Kay said it right here: increasing their need for external validation. It's gross.
But yeah, but multiply that times a million, and you've got like the Sam Smiths of the world and all these other people that just need to be validated. And so they will push the envelope. It's like, hey, if we push satanic worship, we'll get all kinds of headlines, and it'll be on everyone's TikTok, and it'll be on everyone's Twitter. And look at all the attention I get.
Satan is so in right now. You have to work that into your show.
But
Yes.
well,
It's for
because
shock value.
it's shock value and controversy. So I mean, listen, you had Madonna back in the day, like a prayer and all that stuff. So it's like, you know, that's just where I'm at on the whole thing. That's just where I'm at on the whole thing with like Hollywood and stuff. So
I think I might have tickled a nerve with Jay. That was a speech, man.
well, I'm just saying, like I
it's
broke it
all
down
true.
to you. I mean, you talked about it, so it's like that's all. You asked a question, I gave you an answer.
That was a good answer. That was a good answer. Phil, do you want to elaborate on that? I mean, I feel like he covered the fucking bases.
Yeah. Yeah. I echo Jay's sentiment. I think you know, like there are going to be people who are working in these places who feel like they've worked so hard to get to where they are, right? And which is more power to them. But the thing is, like, going on and going to bash the people that, like, you either, you know, politically or, you know, just religiously or whatever you disagree with, is such it's sort of like the same stupid people online who are like trying to argue with you, and then and then you say something that they can't really rebut. It's because their argument is stupid, and they just be like, "Oh, you're just dumb," or to call you a racial slur or something, or say you're just a white supremacist because they have no good comebacks. The same thing with these artists is because they can't stand the fact that they, like, a smaller creator has gotten more attention than they do. And the same thing with the whole attention seeking validation thing that someone mentioned in the chat. I think as a person who's an artist, like I know a lot of these people, like, and they would, it's like, oh, they'll find something to pick at, especially if you're scrutinizing their work or something like that, and they'll just be like, oh, I think my work is better than yours, and, you know, just to make myself feel better, versus, you know, just, you know, praising the fact that, you know, a small content creator can do such amazing work or push their ideas out there, and, you know, without having it to be like this, you know, like you said, satanic or, like, you know, demonic kind of real, you know, message that you're trying to send out to these young folks. I think a lot of them are just insecure of themselves and just their work.
Yeah. Personally, I get really excited when Jay is like, this person who's involved with a major company is pissed off right now, and he's blocking me, and he's getting mad, and they're putting all this stuff out about how my book is so terrible. That makes me happy, because if you're not ruffling feathers, you're not being successful. So if you're pissing somebody off, that is a great indicator. That's a bookmark. That's chapter 1. You're like, perfect.
It was when I launched the book and Gina Carano tweeted it out. The hate brigade, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Brigade. Yeah, it's late. They were like in full force, you know, and then it kind of got quiet until I hit 100K, and it got nasty. It freaking got nasty, like to the point where I had mentioned the charities I was going to give these books to. They were calling the charities on the phone. They wanted to, like, they were like, this guy's got like alt-right propaganda he wants in the children's. I mean, it was ugly, man. It was ugly. That's why I had to change the whole thing.
Alt-right propaganda in your children's book about a color blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's just, but Phil is correct. It's like these people, jealousy will lead you to do ridiculous things,
horrible things.
When people are jealous of other people's success or who they are and whatever, it's like they do crazy things. So because it warps their brain or something, I don't know. And they should be focused on their own craft and building their own thing. Then they won't have to worry about it. You know, would I have loved to have sold $4 million worth like Young Ripa? Heck yeah, I would. I'm not going to sit around and be jealous that he did and I didn't. So you know what? The next round, I'm going to work even harder, and we'll see where we go from there. So I've learned so much, and we're going to launch the next one in February. And it's you know, we're going to do it bigger and better. And we'll see what happens. So, you know, but it's like, I'm not going to sit around and be jealous of Eric July or EVS or any of these people that do so well on their campaigns. You know, it's like, I I'm gonna praise them for like taking a chance and seeing what happened. I mean, Ripa did not know he was going to do millions of dollars. His original goal was 100,000. He's like, if I don't hit $100,000 on this first book, I don't think I can continue. So I don't know what will happen. So he launched, did $1 million in like 10 hours. Right?
That was insane to watch.
Yeah.
That was insane to watch. But you know what? It brought me a lot of hope at the same time, because, you know, really more than anything, and Jay, this is something we can talk about a little bit on stream. It's going to fall to people outside of the established creators to make something that people want.
You're darn right. It fell right into my lap. I am not in the Comicsgate world, even though I'm friends with some of them. I am not one of these people like Ethan Van Sciver or others who used to work for Marvel, for DC, and then was fired because of his conservative beliefs. I wasn't part of any of those clubs. I did have a vision of putting an all-age book out there and seeing where I had written this story a few years ago. I took the time. I listened to them. I spent time with them on the phone, like through StreamYards. They walked me through it was a 3-year process for this one book. And they told me all the things not to do, these horror stories of what happened. And I listened. I wrote this stuff down. I was like, teach me, you know. They're all like Master Yodas. Eric July spent too much time with me, I think, because he wanted me to be successful. You know, he wasn't looking at Jay's going to take some of my profit. You know, Jay's going to launch a book and maybe more people will buy his than mine. He wanted it to be successful, you know. And I was like, I just need to do 10,000. I can get the second book done. So that's where I was at, because we were almost done with the second book anyway. I had already paid like up front, and look where we are. So now we're going to get the rest of them done, and it's going to be an awesome thing. We'll see where we are. But yeah, I am not in those circles. And for me to be successful, at least successful to me, it's definitely a result of these other people saying, we're going to put our money into independent creators and their stories that they're telling, and not what we see going on. So, but yeah, I think you're 100%.
Yeah, it should be a very good indication of what happened with, I hope in 10, 15 years when we look back and there are these established creative spaces, we look back and we go, bro, Eric was the one who punched through it. He punched through it, and he gave everybody else the, I don't know if the courage or the belief that, like, dude, fuck these studios. We don't need them for it. We can do this by ourselves, and we can tell stories that people want to hear, and we're not going to be, this makes me so happy. Just like George Lucas, I will not be under the thumbprint of some other, big corporate entity or the bank that's going to tell me how I need to tell my story. I want to tell my story my way. And then, sales and interest and everything else will tell the rest of the story. And if it flops, it flops. But that's the way that stories used to be told. That's how this was done for years and years and years and years and years. And we lost sight of that. Evidenced by the fact that we've gotten just flop after flop and terrible, terrible, terrible movie after terrible remake from major studios. It's time for some new blood. And new blood that's not under the thumb of a major studio, I would say.
Yeah, hard. Definitely hard agree.
Nothing else? Do you want to tell a story, Phil? Is there something you want to tell?
What do you want to know?
Don't be scared, Phil. Just let it out, man. Like,
Yeah.
X-Wing doesn't know what he's doing.
No, never have.
But yeah, it's I think it's up to independent creators to push back like the message on like, like we don't want any of these stories, demonic satanic stories in our our medium that people are trying to escape their day-to-day lives too, right? They want to play a video game or read a comic book or watch a movie, and they don't want to have like any kind of like politics or like woke like propaganda forced down your throat, especially with little kids being such a sponge. It's like, oh, it's okay for me to say this specific thing. It's back in the day, like like at least for me growing up, like the N word was normalized, is because it was used everywhere, right? Music, movies, and all that. So if people were to say it sort of, and no one really bats an eye, because it's so normalized. Now it's just it's sort of what you have to teach the upcoming generation on what is right and wrong, or what you want. If you want to teach crazy stuff to your own kids, do it at home to your own kids. Even though that's I think that's incorrect, but you shouldn't
That's
have to
your
teach
choice, though.
Yes, exactly. You shouldn't have to teach that to other kids, right? And there's something that Neo, the singer, just said the other day. Now he's getting a lot of flack for it. It's just like, you don't have to listen to any of my stuff, and the same thing, I don't have to listen to any of your stuff. I want to teach my kid whatever I want to teach, and you teach your kid whatever you want to teach. Right? This is how I believed, and this is what I grew up with, and this is what I think is right. And if you don't feel, teaching your kids that it's okay for you to, do a specific thing like transition at a very young age to a different gender, then it should be okay for you to teach them not to do that. Or, if you really want to teach your kids that, then go for it. But like you said, X-Wing, it should be at your own privacy of your own home.
Quit spouting that logicality in here, man.
Well, I mean, the same thing was with Nick Merckx, the streamer, the Call of Duty streamer, who had his own skin, had his own bundle on Call of Duty, and he basically was like, leave the kids alone. Like, I don't think they should be teaching kids about gender and stuff. Like, he literally just tweeted out, like, they should leave the kids alone. Call of Duty immediately canceled him, like, got rid of his bundle.
Incredible.
And just trashed him. Then his friends came to his defense, Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman. He's like, cancel my bundle too, because I stand with my friend. Those guys were met with harsh criticism. Dr. Disrespect was trashed by these progressive left people, saying, well, he cheats on his wife. Like, what's his problem?
Yeah.
It was like, it's unreal, how if you don't go along with the narrative, then these people don't want anything to do with you. They want you to shut up. But times could be changing after Elon Musk's tweet out there.
I would like to talk about that, but honestly, Jay, that's kind of the beautiful thing, is that we're starting to see people. I don't know if it's that they're getting big enough, or there's enough popular traction behind these folks that I won't say they'll become uncancelable, but some of those statements, some of those things they're saying, like, you can't drag them down to the bottom anymore. There's enough support behind them of people with rational thought processes that will continue to support these people. That, I mean, Dr. Disrespect sticking his neck out for him. He's not going anywhere. Are you kidding me? Dude, Doc ain't going anywhere. And so to see him stand up, that was huge, because he's got a huge following, and it makes me so happy and so proud to see that. But I wanted to bring this comment up from Gray, because Phil, you and I were talking about this before the stream started. So Baldur's Gate 3, which you were downloading and were making me think that there was a problem with my internet, but it's because you were downloading Baldur's. Baldur's is like, this is a new video game that's coming out that apparently we thought you could do everything in like Red Dead Redemption. Apparently Baldur's Gate, you can do anything, including having sex with a bear.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. I don't care, because I'm a 32-year-old man. If you want to have sex with a bear in a video game, go crazy. Would I be stoked if my 8-year-old kid was like, Dad, I want Baldur's? Like, okay, we can do that. What do you do? Well, I saw a video where you can have sex with a bear. I'd be like, no, I don't know. Not into that. What's the deal behind this game?
Yeah, so I've never played any of the original two, but I heard it's basically a Dungeons and Dragons type of game where all their decisions is based off of the dice roll.
Okay.
Yeah, and like one of them is the what's it called again? Yeah, I believe it's like a druid or some or a specific class where you can actually, transform into a bear, and then I believe that option is available to the players. And one crazy thing, I think I was on Twitter, of course, and someone posted a video about Baldur's Gate, how it's amazing. I think one of them, you can actually decide on whether or not you want to kill a squirrel. It's like, if you roll a 20, the squirrel dies, and if you don't roll a 20, then like you can't. Another one is, you hear some noises, you hear some moaning behind a door, do you want to open the door? And then it's like you have to roll a 20 in order for you to open the door. And then yeah, it's basically like if you do open the door, there's two orcs having sex. But I'm not sure if they show it. But it's the game is so out there, and it's I think. And I'm not sure if I don't think there's any woke messaging or anything like that, but the fact that it's so customizable and it doesn't have any of this woke propaganda stuff, I think that's the reason why the game is doing tremendously well. It has like high like percentage on like overall percentage on Steam. Like everyone's liking it. But yeah, I think people are
So
just
it's
having
doing
fun.
really well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all I heard about was the bear. That's the only thing I heard about. I'm like, I have no interest in this game at all. I don't think I'm going to be playing that. So it's just wild. That's what you're saying. It's wild and it's free from
it's disgusting and
corporate
shouldn't be
messaging.
in the game.
Yeah, it's because like
it's disgusting. Listen, if you want to play a game because you want to have sex with animals, you probably should be talking to somebody else than playing a game. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's just me. That's my opinion.
Go out and touch some grass.
I don't represent the channel here of X-Wing who says it's okay for you to have sex with bears if you're an adult.
Whoa.
I'm a little different. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think maybe it's for the furries out there, but like it's just it's like
you think that might have been what it was? Like, oh my god, you know what? Did I miss
enough
the
of
super
them
chat?
to like purchase the game though? That's the thing.
Yeah, 100%. Apparently it's smoking right now. It's doing well.
Oh god, there's that many furries in the world?
Apparently. I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. We got wrapped up in bear sex. Sundowners Club for 1999 says there were reports that Winnie the Pooh was into devil worship. So Jay beat him up. Way to go, Jay. Oh, and welcome back, X. Yeah. There were reports that you were actually harassing Winnie the Pooh at a park, tripped him.
Yeah.
Was it your
Reports are
conviction
all
that made
false.
you do it?
Reports are false.
What was it? Why'd you do it, man? You know what the problem is? That poor guy's wearing a suit. It's like 110 degrees outside. And you just stick your leg out. Give him a facial injury. His nose was broken, if I remember reading the reports. His nose was broken. He was bleeding.
His neck.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Classic. Pleading the fifth. Disgusting. Gray says, I think that bear scene just took so much limelight, but that is a small optional section of the game. It's a very large game. Yeah, so I saw the video. I wish I hadn't, but I saw the video. It's a dude in the nude.
X-Wing's in on his back. Watch his videos.
Shut the fuck up, Jay. I love you. I'm willing to let you go to a certain fucking extent, but that is too far. Fucking dude's laying down and he puts his
look how descriptive you are, man. I haven't seen the video. I don't want to know.
Fucking bear comes in is just like and then it cuts.
All you had to do was say that's in the game. You didn't have to describe it. You didn't have to tell us.
I'm like, what the fuck are game developers doing right now? Like, oh my god, I can't imagine the writer's room over at Lucasfilm. It's just, it was unbearable.
You went from that to Lucasfilm.
These are the same kind of people, man. Look at Dave Filoni. You think Dave Filoni doesn't do inappropriate things to the orange lady? Come on. They're the same people. Like,
the orange lady?
Ass Oka.
That's some wild accusations, man.
Bro, Dave Filoni's gross. I'm sorry. But we all knew that kid. Growing up in high school, the freaking weird one that took the cartoon pictures into the bathroom, that weird kid, that's Dave Filoni. He's
Bro, you're really going to a deep place here.
Jay, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying. That kid, that weird kid, and now he's just an adult. And now he wears a cowboy hat and he makes, animation for Disney. I'm telling you, that's Dave Filoni.
All right.
That's him, dude.
He's the one who has a lisp, right?
Among other things.
Okay.
I don't know if he has yeah, I guess he kind of does have a lisp. I don't know. Everybody just thinks he's like God's gift to Star Wars, and I just disagree completely. Philip, we haven't even gotten your thoughts, like, I know you said you're pretty much like a normie on Star Wars. You don't really follow it, which is, thank God. Your life must be just so much less stressful than mine at this point. But I mean, you watched it from the outside. Where's your mind at?
So I didn't watch Star Wars, the original trilogy, until I was an adult, like in the 20s. So I didn't like grow up with it. I wasn't I just knew that it was between Trek and Wars. I knew that it was cooler because it had lightsabers. I think that's my only thing that I really like. Oh, cool, it had lightsabers. That's really cool. Darth Vader is awesome. And I thought the original trilogy was great. And then I went back to go watch the prequel trilogies, and I thought they were okay. I thought Revenge of the Sith was probably the best one. I did like Maul and stuff like that. I think I thought the Yoda fight was outrageous, and it was crazy. The fact that he was just flipping around,
Now,
flipping
just
and
be
dipping.
careful now, because you are in the house of the prequels. Just be careful what you're saying now.
But and then when I was working at this place called Age of Learning, and they had the winter like movie, like where they bring their entire studio to go watch the movie. So we watched The Force Awakens. Force Awakens was so hyped up, everyone was super excited. Then after I finished watching, I'm like, this is like New Hope, like someone dies at the end, and like, but overall it was enjoyable. And then the last Jedi was the one that sort of like ruined it for me. Especially you got that terrible Asian driver that hit that black person. Sorry.
Yes.
That is the most simplified version of that scene I've ever heard in my life.
I love it.
But yeah, overall, I thought that movie was so terrible.
You
And
can get me in trouble.
like, nothing against Kelly Marie Tran. I think she's fine. I think what she was given, and it was just I'm like, her character was sort of pointless, and I just thought that it was just dumb. And then I couldn't summon the courage to watch the third one. I just didn't watch the third one, and
yeah.
Overall, I think Star Wars has been dead since The Last Jedi. I think there's some good parts here and there. I think Mandalorian season 1 was great. Season 2 was pretty good. I think season 3 was just really awful.
Yeah.
And I think Andor was okay, and I didn't watch anything else. I heard the Book of Boba Fett, which is awful. And it's just overall, I don't care about it anymore. Even though I didn't care about it too much, I just really liked the mythos. And I remember when my friend brought me in, because he's a cast member at Disney. Well, he's at Imagineering now, but he opened up what's it called again? Smuggler's Run at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I went in this area. I'm just like, okay, it looks cool. The set pieces are really cool. And then I went on a ride. I'm like, this ride's stupid.
Yeah.
Why is everyone waiting 90 minutes to go on a stupid ride? And the fact that you can't, like, imagine you have like a 5-year-old, little Timmy, like just waiting in line. It's like, oh, I can't wait to drive the Millennium Falcon and go light speed. And my friend's like, oh, I work here, so me and my buddy Phil is gonna go in the front, and you guys can sit in the back and engineer and press those stupid buttons instead.
That's all you do is you hit a button.
Yeah, I just, the bride was super boring. I hated it, and I'm like, where's Darth Vader? Where's Darth Maul or any of the OG characters in Galaxy's Edge? He's like, you don't get them. They're all in Tomorrowland, where the Jedi Training Academy is located,
tucked in the back.
So I used to work at Disneyland too. So like I was on my second attraction that I worked on other than Nemo was Star Tours, and I loved working on Star Tours. You get to see Admiral Akbar, the OG stuff. Like
they played John Williams in the gift shop at Star Tours.
Yeah, and now it's like, when I heard that, oh, we're going to be upgrading it, it's going to be cooler. We're going to incorporate a bunch of the older stuff from like, and the whole sequel trilogy. And I'm like, that's really cool. But then now Star Wars is completely what it was back in the day. It's completely different now. It's not for us anymore.
I know.
Yeah, sorry to bring the room down.
I just want to cry, dude. It sucks. That's the bottom line. That's just where it's at. It's just not for us anymore. And I get a little bit of hope. I watch Jay and he's just so over it at this point that he gets to laugh at it. It still breaks my heart. It still breaks my heart every time I see the
Well,
shit.
I wasn't like that for Indiana Jones sparked the creative, you know how it is, sparked the creative juice inside. Like, they've robbed me of my all-time favorite cinematic character, and it's like, I just got to that point where it's like, I'm just gonna do it myself. That's it. Like, there's no stock to be had in this. So let's just do our own thing. Let's just do it. Let's just do it and create it. Because if they can't get Indiana Jones right, then what are we doing here? Like what are we doing? So
So let's talk about it then. We got 71 people in here. We had a conversation earlier. What are we doing about it?
as far as what?
Fine, I'll do it. So Jay calls me after he gets out of Indiana Jones and he's like, bro, I'm done. I'm heartbroken. I'm done. I can't stand it anymore. Let's do our own.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? He's like, all right, let's do our own story. I want to tell a story about a pirate that trails religious artifacts. So it's
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, but he's a pirate at the same time. And we sat down and we just started brainstorming, had 9 different meetings about different ways this could go, ways we could tell the story, different plot points, stuff we could work in. If the book does well, what else could we talk about? Other things that could happen. And sat down and wrote just an outline for an incredible story. An incredible story. Something I'm extremely excited about. And it brought so much joy to my heart, feeling that love again, feeling that excitement, feeling that creative passion just like bursting through me the way that I felt it when Star Wars was beautiful. I just went ham. I sat in front of a computer and I just started writing and then now there's fun revisions going on where things are getting tightened up. There's cool stuff going on. We're working in interesting plot points. Jay and I are going to put a story out that you guys are going to adore. It's a story that you guys are going to want to tell your kids. It's a story that you're going to want to share with your friends. It is going to be absolutely incredible. And I hate the fact that I can't tell you more about it because there is so much cool shit coming.
I can't wait. It sounds awesome.
I'm like, when there is this much love and this much passion in a story, it can't help but to bleed into everybody who reads it. I can promise you that.
Yeah, it was that's I had wished that the Last Jedi would have done that the same way. And it didn't. I went through that remorse of it's got to get better than this. Like, this is just, they made a mistake. Something's wrong. They made a mistake here. Like, there's a bigger story. Something's going to happen, right? Luke's going to be redeemed. They really made a mistake. Like, I believed all the stupidity where he didn't really die in the Force. He just teleported somewhere else. Like all that stuff, everything that we listen to, and it's like, oh, it was a dream. Like, from everything, I was like, it can't be because it's so bad. And it went from bad to worse. So when it came to Indiana Jones, I was like, I have every like, I can show you. I have every single Indiana Jones comic book from Marvel. I pulled them out after the film, and I just went through them again. I literally have them right next to me. I have all his books, his extra books. I've read all those multiple times. They're all sitting here on a stack right next to me because I knew going into Indy was like, it's got to be better, right? It's got to be better than what people are saying. It's got to be. They can't screw up Indiana Jones. And when they did, it was I called X-Wing. I said, I got a story that I've been sitting on. Let's bring it. Let's make it real. Let's make a graphic novel. Let's make a novel. Everything I learned from Achromatic Chronicles and and Eric July and all these people that have talked to me about running an awesome campaign to get a book out there. I was like, can we get 3,000 people to buy it? Like, that's going to be your goal, X-Wing. We get 3,000 to 5,000 people to buy this book. It is a trilogy. I can only go so far, but it is a trilogy, and it is about a pirate that hunts for religious artifacts. But that's all we can really say. It is not what you think. This is not a children's graphic novel at all, and you're gonna freaking love it. It's everything that you wanted to see in an adventure story. So
That's where
we
we're at.
actually imported like real life pirates, like in the time period and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. Someone says, so Johnny Depp is back. Nah, this ain't no Pirates of the Caribbean story either. So
I'm offended.
You guys are gonna love it. We hope to launch it next year, so we'll let you know. Like, I told X-Wing. X-Wing has been doing so much. We have a plan. We have a goal of things we want to hit with the first book, on like where we want to be, how we want to set it up, like where do we want to be in November, like as far as the story done, the artist, all that stuff. It takes time. It takes time to X-Wing wants it done yesterday. So he was like, I got it done. Can they draw it in 24 hours?
Hold up. Who texted me yesterday and said, is the story done? And I'm like, bro, we're at like 17%.
Right. Because like 3 weeks ago, you were like, I could do this. Can we get this done? Can we launch it? Can we launch it now? I was like, all right, here's how it works. Here's what we got to calm down. Like, let's get it done. We want to do this right. We want it to be special. We want it to be awesome. So
stupidly, I'm writing a novelization for this.
Yeah.
Which I think would be good to have, just in case anybody wants a long book.
Yeah, and so we're going to be talking about it a lot. But I told him, I was like, I got to get Achromatic Chronicles 2 done. That launches in February. And that is, that's my baby. And then after that, once that campaign is over, you could be hearing a lot more about this, but I'm sure you'll hear more about it as we get closer and closer and things. We have somebody actually working on a commercial now. So with our Jolly Roger, it's going to be freaking awesome. So
is it going to be like a comic book or a graphic novel?
But
okay.
There will be a novelization when it's all said and done to purchase. So
yeah, cool.
It'll be but yeah, it'll be a graphic novel trilogy. So you guys are gonna love it.
I'm so I want to burst at the seams and talk about this.
I know you want to share so much about this. You can't. That's the hardest part, is not sharing the story. You got to let people read it and experience it and love it. But we're going to just start talking about it now, so you guys could be ready for our awesome launch. So
yeah, I think
that's awesome. So Jay, you didn't like Vows of Destiny?
I did not. I even people that were saying like the first 20 minutes was like an indie film, I just didn't. They went after the Spear of Destiny. I don't care if it's spoilers. They went after the Spear of Destiny in the first 20. Did you see it, Phil?
I only watched. I just recently watched Crystal Skull.
I refuse to watch this movie. I can't.
They went after the Spear of Destiny, which is a religious artifact. It's the spear that stabbed Christ in the side while he was on the cross. But they have a really cool book about Indiana Jones and and the Spear of Destiny that has his father. It's a continued story with him and his father. And they go after this spear, and it's so good. And they just totally, of course, they didn't use any source material or anything like that. And,
I'll be right back.
It's just sad, man. It's like, and then to take a character like this is what this movie said about people aging, right? You take a character such as Indiana Jones, who's a war hero, who was a spy, who has seen incredible things, fought the Nazis, fought Germany, has medals for being a war hero, is a a professor at a college that teaches history and archaeology. He has this incredible life. He's traveled the world 5 times over and then some. He has this incredible knowledge. He's built a museum, with some of the stuff that he's collected over the years. And everything that they did to him once he got a little bit older, he became an old, divorced, drunk man that has lost everything. He was in a beat up old apartment in New York. He was banging on people's door, telling them to turn the music down. He was just, and it's like, that's not how Indiana Jones is going to turn out. The guy was a hero on so many levels. And I don't know why Lucasfilm has this thing about them where they take established characters. They did the same thing to Luke and beat them down, and to say once you get older you're irrelevant and you're not important anymore. So of course the adventure goes, and basically he's chasing down Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, who is the hero. They travel back in time, which is really stupid, to like Rome's invasion of
What?
Socrates. That's what the dial is. The dial is a time machine that takes you back to the Rome's invasion of Italy. And the person who made Socrates is the guy who made it. And he was hoping that whoever found the dial would come back and help them defeat the Roman Empire. So these warplanes that travel back in time are getting shot down by arrows and spears of Rome. Oh yeah, not Socrates.
I was gonna say Socrates, the philosopher. Archimedes.
Benjamin said in the chat. Yeah. Archimedes. Yeah. And so these like spears and bows and arrows shot down. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So Indiana Jones, they've just traveled in time. The planes crash because of arrows. All the Germans that were on the plane die. He meets Archimedes and he's like, "Oh, I have nothing to live for. I'm going to stay here." And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like, "You can't stay here. You can change time." Well, you idiot. There's a broken down World War II airplane laying with their guns and everything laying all over. Archimedes sees one of the dead Germans' bodies and takes his watch, and puts it on like, "Oh, what's this do?" It's so stupid. So you think Indiana Jones, who has done everything in his power from young Indy to now to preserve history, you think he's going to screw up the timeline. She punches him in the face to knock him out. And then her sidekick, because she has a short round, her short round in this whole film is able to hotwire a plane, right? He doesn't really speak good English. He hotwires a plane, travels back in time with them. He steals a plane that just has a magical pilot in the back. The pilot takes over, lands the plane when Rome is invading. There's no runways back then. Indy's knocked unconscious, and then the whole movie goes to black. So you never see them travel back in time or anything. And Indy wakes up in his timeline, and he's just kind of like, "You should have just left me there." Listen to me. You just went back in time, and the first thing you're going to say to people is, "Yeah, I shouldn't be here." Like, are you serious? Like, you just traveled through time. And it's like, it's no big deal to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, that alone was like, what? So Phoebe Waller-Bridge saved Indiana Jones, brought him back to the present.
After knocking him out. Didn't we see in Temple of Doom like a 9-foot tall, 420-pound man crack him in the jaw and he didn't get knocked out?
Yeah, it's so dumb. And then she apparently fixes marriage, because Miriam comes back in.
What?
They want to blame this whole movie. They want to blame Indy's depression and his divorce because his son Mutt was killed in Vietnam. You know, that's what they wanted to use as why his whole life is shambles.
So he became an angry, old, grumpy man.
They could have done this a completely different way. Mutt Williams could have lived and been a war hero. Indy and his marriage could have been solid, and they could have just been, we're retired, we're living our life. Phoebe Waller-Bridge could have shown up and said, you remember when my dad, back in the day, you know, you helped my dad get this dial? Well, there's people after us, and they're gonna go back in time and change history so Germany wins the war, right? Germany wins the war. Indiana Jones could have looked at Miriam and said, I got to do this one last time, you know? Put the hat on. Hey, I'm older now. I need you to take point.
Yeah.
That changes the whole dynamic of the story. The whole dynamic of the story. But it doesn't, he doesn't do that. You know, he's busted up, he's old, he's like sad, he's weak. None of that stuff is going on, you know, and he just doesn't care about life anymore. It's just it's quite pathetic. So
yeah, it's so you're getting a old Harrison Ford who comes back and basically gets outshined by a young female.
Yeah. And throughout the whole, that's what I'm saying, is like The Last Jedi. Throughout the whole movie, she is belittling him. She tried to get him killed a few times, and you realize she's just a thief that wants these artifacts to sell so she could pay off like debts. She could care less about Indiana Jones.
Ugh.
Right?
And she's the focus.
Yeah, she solved some of the riddles. You know, it's just, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a guy in the film played by Antonio Banderas, who's been Indy's long life friend forever, right? And he calls him up and is like, "Hey, I need to borrow your boat." And this guy is like one of the world's skilled divers, right? Says they got to go find something down there. Well, he gets murdered in the film. And Indy's like, oh my God, I lost my best friend. Ah, you're just like, this is horrible, man. This is awful. It's freaking awful.
I don't even know if I want to pirate this. You know what? I do. I want to pirate this. I want to watch this because I feel like this is something I could speak against, man. I mean, the absolute, I don't want to say crucifixion, but I mean the absolute destruction.
But you want to know the crazy thing is?
Male heroes is one of the last ones.
Here's the crazy thing. The Germans that wanted the Dial of Destiny wanted to use it to go back in time to kill Hitler. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and then they wanted to stop them from doing that.
Is there any explanation as to why?
Because it'll just change history, you know.
Sure.
They feel the Germans that are doing this feel that if they kill Hitler, he won't attack Poland, and Germany will be a prosperous country and rise, and you know, and then they could, if they want to do world domination, another leader will step, you know, forward.
Okay.
Exactly. It's stupid. Exactly. It's just dumb. It would have been better if they had said, we're going to go back in time and convince Hitler to do more bad stuff, or not attack this, or not do that. You know what I mean? Saying,
yeah,
like,
they should have gone back and been like, yo, Hitler, by the way, when they land in France, this is where they're landing. By the way, they're going to push up through Africa, through here.
That's would have made them evil. But to say, well, we're going back to kill him. It's like, well, we got to stop you from killing Hitler. You're like, dude, it's so, I'm telling you, I walked out of the theater like, this is a joke.
I am almost excited to watch it now. Just because I'm going to watch it non-ironically, just like, oh my God, this is so bad. I'm so excited. What else do you guys got? Please give it to me.
There is so much they could have done with the last Indiana Jones film. And this is the easiest story they could have done. I mean, easy. Indiana Jones is retired. He's married. His kid's off doing his thing. You didn't have to kill off Mutt. Even if you didn't like the character, you didn't have to kill off his son.
Was that Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing their thing. Some new terrorist threat shows up and kidnaps Indiana Jones. Why? Because the man has years of knowledge of the U.S. government, of hidden relics that bring power, things like that. He's older, so he can't really fight, which kind of plays into his old age. We're going to tap your brain. We want to know where this stuff is. We're going to bring our country back and rise it up from the dead. Whatever, okay? They need to find where so the government panics, and they're just like, we need to figure out where we got to get Indy back. Who knows him best? Here comes Short Round, all grown up.
Yeah.
You worked with Indiana Jones. We're going to give you a task force to go find him. This is perfect. He's younger. He can do like the other stuff, like maybe he's off. Maybe he's done his own adventures. You never know.
And he's Asian.
Exactly. There's a whole story you could tell there. Short Round is up to the challenge. Now the U.S. government's like, all right, once you get Indy, you need to kill him because he's not, he's got too many secrets. We got to kill him.
Can't risk
So the
it.
first half of the film is rescuing him. The second half of the film is saving him from the agencies that are trying to kill him. It's a win-win, man.
I would love the idea of like a third, the Third Reich coming back, and you get that grizzled old Harrison Ford, like, didn't I kill you in 45? And just like punches his ass. Just that good old fashioned. It
was such a and the guy, the Jonathan, who played, his English name is Jonathan, who played Short Round. He just won an Oscar. So it's just like
missed opportunities. Oh yeah, right there in the chat. Missed opportunities.
That is a simple story that people would have came and watched. You play into his age just fine. He doesn't have to be like the superhero. Half the movie he's in a cage because he's been kidnapped. You bring in his apprentice that he had, Short Round. Everybody would love to see them on the big screen again. It's a win-win. Like who do they have sitting around there not thinking up these ideas?
Well, I think overthinking is the big problem right now. I mean, Phil, you can probably attest to this. Overthinking stories is the big problem right now. If you want to tell a brand new story, go nuts. Do something like Tenet. Overthink the shit out of your story. But if you're bringing back old characters, beloved stories, old franchises, don't overthink it. Don't fix what's not broken. It's not broken. It was successful for a reason. So just do that. I would much rather have a rehash. And this is the sequel trilogy in a nutshell. I would much rather have a rehash than some wild idea that shits all over everything that we loved. And that's why The Force Awakens, for the most part, is accepted by a lot of people. That is a fucking shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope. And people are like, that's the least bad movie out of the sequel trilogy. Mitigate your losses. Don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's a reason why you have all these movies that are using the same trope. I forgot what the actual terminology is for film, but it's usually I think A New Hope is one of them, right? I forgot what the terminology is, but it's literally like a person who doesn't really have anything rises up to the occasion and
the hero's journey.
The hero's journey.
Yeah, basically hero's journey. Yeah, I think it could be male or female, doesn't matter. I think and something like that it's sort of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can use the same thing. But I think a lot of people like to this is probably a terrible wording, but dip their dick in the salad and basically wants to have they basically want their writing in
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, I want to change things up. You're walking, you think you're going to get the hero's journey and then left turn. And it's just, they want to change everything up. And I think that's where we get a lot of these terrible stories, like The Last Jedi is one main thing, right? And it's just, you have a home run here. Like a lot of these TV shows, just follow, like give the fans what they want. You know, like, oh, it's just, oh, this movie's fan service. Like, yeah, service me. You know, like people knew that Super Mario was going to be off fan service, and it made $1 billion, right? And of course, like I'm not a big Trekkie, but I didn't watch season 3 of of Picard, and they brought in all the characters. They had them all in one room, and
Wasn't it
that
like
was
wildly popular?
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
And that was a missed
loved,
opportunity with
loved by
with,
Star Trek fans because it's like this is what we wanted. Nostalgia
Yeah.
done right.
Yeah.
yeah, and you had a missed opportunity right in the what's it called, The Last Jedi, where you could have had all 3 of them in one room, but you didn't. It's just you never got that interaction between all 3 of them, right? Like
Yeah.
the closest thing we got was when Luke said R2. It's like, oh, it's that Luke moment again, but that's all you
Yep.
got.
Yep. I mean, it was the same thing that happened at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. It was like, holy shit, Luke, and oh my god, Star Wars. That kind of feels like Star Wars. It's
Mhm.
incredible. You know, it's just so tough. I don't know. I always the analogy I like to make is why were all of the Disney stories that they made into cartoon movies so wildly popular in the 90s and the early 2000s? Those were not original stories. I don't know if anybody knows this watching this, but those are all retold stories. All of those wildly popular, wildly successful cartoon films, they were not new stories. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, those were not new
Little
stories.
Mermaid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
none of those were new. They were beautifully told stories, not reimagined, but retold. There's a reason they've been popular for fucking thousands of years, man. I don't know.
100% correct. 100% correct.
Yep.
So it's really sad. And then, you know what? The crazy thing is, the Indiana Jones film is probably one of the last films from the 80s and early 90s that they can, you know, that we'd ever see on the big screen again. You know, with like we're not going to see Luke on that. We're not going to see Mark Hamill's Luke on the big screen again. We're not going to see Han Solo on the big screen. Not going to see Indiana Jones on the big screen again. Not going to see Back to the Future, you know, Michael J. Fox on the big screen again. We're not going to see those nostalgia movies that we love so much from like the late 80s and early 90s that did so well. The Indiana Jones was probably the last one that they had. They tried to redo Willow. That was a disaster. Star Wars is in a weird, I mean, you know,
Weird.
Indiana Jones is done. There is nothing that Lucasfilm has now that they can, you know, bring back to the big screen.
They milked all the IPs dry.
Yeah. If it, and I can tell you this, if Indiana Jones made them $1 billion, I guarantee you they would be working on another one.
Yeah.
Money talks, man. And listen, the Crystal Skull, as bad as people don't like it, it made a ton of money for Lucasfilm. It made a ton of money. Number one is, I don't know what Lucasfilm is doing with their budgets right now, but they are out of Disney in general. They are out of control.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was one of the most expensive movies ever made. That movie had to do $1 billion plus for it. Like they were saying that it had to do like 800 or 900 million just to break even. How do you make a movie that needs to do 800 or 900 to break even? That's
Ask James Cameron. Those are Avatar numbers, though. We're talking about a live action movie, like but those are James Cameron numbers. That's Avatar 2 numbers. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Avatar 2 costs less than Indiana Jones.
Seriously?
Dial of Destiny. Yeah. They filmed Avatar 2 and 3 back to back. Now, some of the actors have said there's filming a little bit more. They filmed some more this summer to finish up Avatar 3, but it costs about $500 million for Avatar 2 and 3 together. So you split that in half, like $250, right?
That's not bad, dude.
It's still expensive, but the movie did $2 billion. Yeah, the movie did $2 billion. So it's like, But like Elementals, their Pixar film, their budget was like almost $200 million for what? And that thing lost money.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. You look at the Lucasfilm budgets for their shows. Andor was $250 million.
Jeez.
I'm telling, and Mandalorian was only $100 million, and freaking Kenobi was like 125. You spend more on Andor than you did on freaking Kenobi with Hayden.
And they didn't even edit in real lightsabers with Kenobi. They kept the plastic lightsabers for the fights. That was the shit that drove me nuts. I don't want to talk about Kenobi. I'm gonna go into a hole. I had to do that with Jay. That was like one of the worst experiences of my life. And Jay just profited. He was like, "Look at this dude lose his mind." That shit hurt, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kenobi hurt, man.
Do it all over again with Ahsoka.
The crazy thing with Disney is the fact that you like me and Gray talked about this. Little Mermaid had the same budget as Avatar 2.
Yeah.
And you compare like the water visual effects.
Fuck, dude.
It's
where's that money going?
Oh, well, 125,000 just went to her hair.
Oof.
It's like, oh yeah, they clearly do not know how to budget their. I don't know, man. It's just you're seeing like all these shows that cost extremely crap ton of money, and hearing about like the VFX like people being overworked, and I heard like most recently they're trying to unionize, and it's going to be
crazy.
Wait, hold up. That wasn't a joke?
No.
Stupid.
Where'd you get that video of Phil, man? Come on.
Oh my god, man. That's a real thing.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it's going to be under IATSE, which is the Animation Guild, but yeah. I'm not sure. Well, the producers were able to be a part of the Animation Guild now, which I think is extremely dumb. But they were able to become a part of the Animation Guild. I'm pretty sure the VFX will eventually be under that too, but they're going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Disney is Heath Ledger's Joker right now. Do I look like a guy with a plan?
I think James Cameron hired all the good VR people because freaking, whether you loved it or not, Avatar 2's visuals were like freaking incredible.
I adored that movie. I will still die on the hill that Avatar is like the one movie like franchise that's going on right now, probably next to Dune, that feels like that old style of movie that inspires you, that's incredible, that's visually stunning, that tells a story without any other shit going on. It's just that. They're telling a story and it looks fucking awesome. Avatar and Dune. I can't really think of any other ones unless somebody remind me in the chat if there's another one, but those are pretty much like, those are my two holdouts. There's stuff on the horizon about, Peter Jackson maybe making a comeback with Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, but I'm not holding my breath. That's pretty much it.
Yep, and Disney just going to continue doing their live action adaptations. I'm not sure what's going on with Hunchback, with Josh Gad, and I heard they were going to actually do Princess and the Frog, and I was like, Halle Bailey would have been perfect for that role. I don't know why you cast her as Little Mermaid, but
have you seen did you see Wee Man and his interview about how he felt about, this is an interesting topic of conversation. So Wee Man's upset about the fact that they didn't actually hire little people for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Totally understandable, right? Peter Dinklage was on the other side of the battle. He's like, nah, don't do that. Don't profit because of somebody else's physical stature, whatever the case may be. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. But here's my question. The movie is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Does it make more sense to hire little people, dwarves, to actually portray the dwarves, or does it make more sense for you to do basically what they did in Lord of the Rings, where you hire actors and then you make them small? Gimli, you know, think about all the dwarves in The Hobbit, all of these different these different instances of people being portrayed as dwarves when they're not actually dwarves. I feel like I don't know where to put my foot down on that argument.
Jay,
The argument is that they should stop doing remakes. And if they do, all you got to do is follow the source material. You don't have to make it for a modern age, because now we're stuck here talking about how stupid it is that they don't want to have dwarves in their film because they feel like they are doing them a service by not hiring little people as dwarves. So they feel that we're helping them out by not casting them as dwarves. So we're doing them a favor, and now they don't have jobs, period. How stupid are these people?
It's bass backwards for sure. There's no doubt about it.
It's stupid. If little people did not want to play dwarves, then they wouldn't take the job.
Yeah.
Right?
This is how jumbled this is. It's like somebody ordering a coffee. Can I take your order, sir? I'm a ma'am. Okay, ma'am, what can I get for you? Don't assume my gender. This is what this feels like. I mean, I feel like they're going against themselves by doing what they were supposed to do by not going against themselves. It's like, oh, well, we should hire little people for it. Well, we'd be marginalizing the little people by hiring them for the movie, but we'd also be taking the jobs away from the little people. I did this in my brain for like, I don't know, 2 hours today. I was like, this could be an interesting topic of conversation. And then by the time I got done with it, I'm like, there's no fucking answer.
Yeah, in my opinion, they should just hire the little people for the jobs, right? It's like, imagine you're getting a movie about crazy, stupid Asian drivers and you don't hire Asian people.
Well, it would be racist to hire Asian people for it.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I'm totally fine with them hiring Asian people for to like, if you're gonna typecast or something like that, you're gonna want to be accurate. But if they're gonna do the whole Lord of the Rings thing, where the hobbits were played by actors, and then like their stand-ins will be like actual little people.
Yeah,
I think if they came out and said that, it would have been fine. But they reacted on Peter Dinklage's statements about that. If they didn't react to that and they just didn't, no one would have said anything, right? If you just came out and said, okay, we want to be more I don't know, accepting, and we want to make sure we don't typecast people, but they reacted to Peter's statements, and that's the reason why people are saying, you're getting a lot of these little people, you're taking their jobs away. Now they don't have jobs besides one of them. So
which is the weirdest fucking part. They have one actual dwarf in there.
Yeah, just one.
Like, if you're gonna do it if you're gonna just have tall people do it, then fucking have tall people do it. But they sprinkled one in there. They're like, well, we're also thinking about you guys. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's Snow White. It's Snow not as white as it was said in the book, and then a couple normal people and a dwarf. Like, what the fuck is this? It just doesn't make sense.
No, because they're trying to play into this diversity checkbox and they're trying to change the way we look at things.
They're not on this one. They're not playing into the diversity checkbox.
They think they are, is what I'm trying to tell you. The story of Snow White, the reason why she was called Snow White is because her skin was pale. Her skin
was white as snow.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. And now you have the actors and people coming out saying, oh, she don't need no man. Like, it's going to be different. It's going to be
said that. She came out. She's like, you know what? I'm not here to be saved by a prince. It's about her taking her own initiative. And I'm like,
why bother making it? It's
not Snow White. It's not Snow White. So why the fuck are you making it? Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and going back to the whole, getting little people to play dwarves or something. It's like, wasn't someone in the chat mentioned, wasn't Hugh Grant an Oompa Loompa?
Yeah, that was you know what? Wee Man says that.
And they were mad that he wasn't a little person.
Make up your mind.
That's
Pick a
why.
lane. Pick a lane. and
That's
just
why
stick with it.
I hope, that this strike goes on for a whole year till this whole thing gets reset. We have the guy who played we have the black gay man who played the fairy godmother in Cinderella call out Bob Iger and Disney saying that he has to sell his house because he can't work because this is all Disney's fault. He's slamming Disney, which I think is funny. And if you look up his name online, he's worth about $5 million plus. So, boo-hoo to you, sir, that you got to sell your house because you can't work, and that he blamed Disney. You have the She-Hulk star scream at Bob Iger saying he needs to share his money with the writers and everything. And my only issue with all that, she made a statement saying, there were people on set that lost their health care, that weren't getting paid. If you knew that was going on your show and you're the star, how come you ain't say something sooner? Right? Why do you got to wait till we're all striking and all that stuff and just be like, okay, now I want to say something?
This is just the perfect example of it truly, when you bend the knee, it doesn't matter what you do, you will never make this crowd happy. It doesn't matter what you do.
Of course.
Snow White is the perfect example. If you hire little people to play the dwarves, you're exploiting little people. If you hire tall people or normies or whatever they call us, normal people, to do the job, then you're not giving jobs to little people. So there is no way to make them happy. So what do? You stick one in there. We're doing both.
Make the other ones black. You're not going to criticize black people, are you?
It's
asinine. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mentioned this on Twitter. And the reason why they had to change the story of Snow White was because in no universe that they're gonna think Gal Gadot is uglier than Rachel Zegler. No freaking way.
Gal Gadot.
She's the ugly, wicked witch. She's supposed to be hideous.
Bro, Gal Gadot is the embodiment of a 10. I'm sorry. That's my type.
She's supposed to be ugly.
That's my type. I put Gal Gadot above who's Barbie? It's a close, but Margot Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take Gal Gadot. She was in the military. She's toned up.
Take a cold shower, man.
I can't help myself around her, dude. Gal. Yeah. Even Maleficent was better looking.
Well, Maleficent was a classic.
That was Angelina Jolie, wasn't it, in the adaptation? Yeah.
The crazy thing about Maleficent, was that was kind of coming out during the start of there are no good and bad people. Everybody's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be this really evil. This is Sleeping Beauty. All that. She fights the prince. She turns into a dragon.
Of the villain.
Right. So it's the deconstruction. Exactly. The deconstruction of the villain. They're just misunderstood. Kylo Ren, he was just misunderstood. Even though he murdered billions of people, I could still fall in love with a guy like that. I only witnessed him stab his dad through the stomach, and push him off a ledge. But
he was misunderstood.
I'll still make out with him in the third film. That's no big deal.
What the fuck are you doing?
There's no red flags there. But yeah, it's there's no more villains, So it's everyone's just kind of misunderstood, and there you go.
Yeah.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
I got to show you something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is serious.
Oh, God.
Because apparently Disney's not sticking with their changes here. All right.
Do you guys know Elon named Twitter after me? It was incredible.
Why is it always about you, man? Come on.
I'm just saying, he did.
Look at this here. This is breaking. I'm going to turn the volume up. Here we go.
I'm the greatest hunter in the land. There's no beast I can't vanquish. No prey I can't.
No, tell me they didn't change it.
They brought Gaston back, which I'm very happy because he's my favorite villain.
The trident is sacred to my kingdom. I get your big fork, and I become ruler of land and oceans, with Magic Mirror as my loyal assistant.
I serve no one but myself.
We'll talk. Who would dare challenge me?
There it is.
Oh, there's a problem here, kids.
Oh, no.
I don't wait. Ariel looks white to me.
There's something going on here, kids.
Wait, that looks like the real Snow White. I don't know. All right, here we go.
Daddy, who did this to you?
The name's Gaston.
Release my father at once. Gaston must be stopped. We're ready. Count me in. And I have an axe. Let's go! Okay, ladies, let's storm this castle. Fruit baskets. Don't eat that. Come on. Not without us, you don't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are
Where's Belle in all this, man? Wasn't she the original?
we?
Yeah, dude.
Ariel, it's a treasure
Well,
map.
she wasn't the original.
Keep your hands to yourself.
I don't like that. They beat up pirates. I'm a little upset.
Snow White? No! My indestructible armor!
That girl is 7 gems short of a diamond mine.
Say goodbye, princesses.
We'll never give up.
All right, that's full-on girl power. Who said that in the chat? 3 grown men watching a baby cartoon, and you're right here watching it with us. Ah!
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to say that I appreciate this Lego movie because at least we got the original princesses in there. I thought they were going to make changes. I thought Ariel was going to look a little different. I thought Snow White was going to look a little different. But you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like it's funny. It's because we saw after Little Mermaid, then we have the most recent. I think it was like a Disney Junior like 3D animated show that they it's like a Little Mermaid, like a Black Little Mermaid 3D animated cartoon that's supposed to be coming out.
Uh-huh.
And it's like yeah, Jay, I was actually surprised that like Ariel is white. It's because I thought moving forward, Little Mermaid is gonna be black.
Exactly my point. They never stick to what they want to.
Somebody write a letter to Disney and ask them what's canon.
They
What's
never
canon?
stick to it, man. They never stick to it. You know?
If
It's
Ahsoka's not
crazy.
blue, I'm gonna flip my shit.
I'm like, where the heck is Belle in all this? Listen, I know you guys, some people in the chat might not like this. I actually, when it comes to the Lego films, like the Lego Star Wars, I always found them hilarious. They just laughed at everything. They laughed at the Last Jedi stuff that we all
That's
laughed
the
at. They
point.
laughed at all that.
Yeah.
And so I never found it like, oh, don't watch it, it's cringe and everything. I have reviews on my channel where like the Star Wars special, I thought it was hilarious. So the only reason why
You remember
I
when he
played,
pulled out the lightning, but it was the Lego
Yeah.
lightning? I
so
like
the only reason why I pulled this up because yeah, I thought Disney was changing things moving forward, but they're not.
Nope.
So
You should write a letter.
yeah. I mean,
That's
I'm
all I
trying to
had,
like,
kids.
I thought it was funny. So
That's all I
Like,
had.
it's just watching that trailer. I thought it was gonna be. It's them telling the message or it being, but it's something that I might watch, right? It's because like all of the Lego movies, like even the like the ones that are on like Netflix, like those are all relatively self-aware. Like they know that they're toys, and I think it makes it funny that way. So
The
yeah, I thought that was actually pretty. Like it's
Oh.
I will watch it, yeah, for sure.
Pull up that last chat. Hold on. Pull up that last chat. No, not him.
Uh,
The guy who says he likes to crap
yeah. Hold on.
in X-Wings.
I know this guy. I met him in
Yeah,
Tennessee.
I would love to crap in X-Wing's hat. Come on, man. If you're going to insult me, man, at least use proper grammar. Come on.
Is that a Monsters Inc. reference?
I also want... this is just kidding.
I think that
Hey,
was.
share this real quick. I'll show you.
No. Hold on. Because I totally missed this. I'm sorry. I was enthralled. In the Legos there. Laura Lynn Lance.
Not done.
With you three, I could get drunk, eat some egg rolls, and go for a ride. Laughing my ass off. Hi, guys. Smooches for my J Bear.
Hey.
No more live action animation. Shit emoji.
That's all I'm saying.
Laura,
Laura.
I'm sorry. I let that cruise by way too long. We got enveloped in some
So
stuff.
Here's some of the comments. No Snow Brown or Black Ariel. Time to boycott Disney for racism.
What was the one? It was like Obama, but it was played by like Matthew McConaughey. Have you seen those Netflix?
Yeah,
the Netflix
yeah.
titles. This stuff is so funny, man. I'm pooped.
It's 1 a.m. for me.
I mean, the stream, it was
It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be.
That's a great clip. Never get rid of that clip.
I'm never getting.
I don't know how you found
Are you
it.
kidding me?
It is a great clip.
That's amazing.
Peter Serrata.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys believe in stuff?
Bro, where are you going with this?
Oh, I can't. I can't use that ender.
Believe in what?
Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
What's in that cup you're drinking, dude? Come on.
Huh?
What are you drinking in that cup?
Coors original.
Yeah, I knew there was alcohol there.
Yeah, it's beer. I'm not gonna lie to you. X-Wing on Battlefront streams. Dude, do you have any idea how mad I am that like I played Battlefront 2 like crazy? It died. Nobody plays it anymore. And now all of a sudden G&G is doing Battlefront streams every single week. I'm pissed. Man, I had nobody to play that game with. I'm like a level 512 heavy on that stupid game. They finally fixed it, and it became a lot of fun to play.
Is it fun?
So Battlefront streams when? Yeah, I'll get it on my computer. I'm about to get a big upgrade to my storage. So I should be able to have that on PC. We'll do some more gaming. I'll be on Kick more. I'll be on Stash Rendar more, doing stuff like that. But my wife's pregnant. Still, my home life has changed drastically. So don't expect every night.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. February.
Yeah.
February.
I just had my kid just turned 9 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
Does he have a job yet, or?
Yeah, he's gonna be working in one of those sweatshops that I have underneath my house.
Like a textile mill making.
He's gonna make your Nikes.
Yeah, he's making.
Yeah.
No, he's making egg roll merch. Hand stitching, man. If he needs another gig,
Should probably end the stream before it gets worse.
Remember, my friends, you bow to no one.
My friends. You bow